first question from Sister Umama. She says, Assalamu alaikum. Did you take a break from pursuing your own studies to just focus on your kids and their Islamic education? So that's a very good question. And I guess what she's alluding to is the fact that, I myself, before I had children, I was a student in Egypt, lots of other subjects at Al Azhar, at a college of Al Azhar University, and at various centers in Cairo. And then I basically got married, and I had a child about a year or so afterwards, or 2 years afterwards, actually. And then, since then, Alhamdulillah, I've had four children. Alhamdulillah, most of them are, well, all of them are actually Islamically adults now. So time has flown. But as Sister Umam asked, did I take a break from pursuing my own studies to focus on the kids and their Islamic education? Because I had begun studying before I had children, and because I see studying the deen as a lifelong thing, it's an ongoing, lifelong process. I actually didn't stop, because actually at the time when I got married, etc., when I had children, I wasn't in a formal institution or anything like that at that time. And so what I did is, when it became possible and when things settled down, etc., first of all, even while I was like nursing my children, my first child, the learning never stopped. I was still listening to a lot of lectures, and these were like lectures in Arabic. In those days, it was cassettes, okay, or CDs, right, that I had. So I was still listening to those lectures in Arabic and continuously improving my Arabic, my Islamic knowledge, right, even while I was breastfeeding, believe it or not. Okay, so I would be up at night, obviously nursing a newborn child, and those of you who are mothers will know exactly what that's like. One of the ways I kind of got through it, got through the sleepless nights and the toughness of like the early years, was by keeping my mind busy with positive messages, and seeking knowledge, whether it was knowledge of Arabic or any aspect of Islam, any of the Islamic sciences. I was keeping myself busy by listening, right? Because obviously you can breastfeed and you can listen to something at the same time. So that's what I was doing whenever I could. And then as my children got a little bit older, I enrolled into Islamic programs, courses, sometimes ones that were intensive, sometimes those that were online, because that's what fitted around my children's lives better. But I never actually stopped, and that's because what I saw my Islamic education as actually beneficial to my children. So, for example, if I was attending a course about the Seerah, right, and if I had the more I was learning about the Seerah, for example, and I'm talking about like an advanced level, then I could bring that home, and I would bring that home, and I would be telling my children those stories at night, right? Bedtime stories. For me, if I was excited about knowledge and if I was absorbing that knowledge, my children could only benefit from that. They were getting to soak that up as well, right? Even when my son was a baby, I was memorizing Surah Baqarah at that time, I remember. And you see, I saw that as immensely beneficial for my son, because as I was reciting and repeating, he was on my lap, he would be absorbing that, no doubt. In fact, even in pregnancy, I think, children absorb something of their mother, whatever their mother is doing, right? So yeah, it never really stopped. But it did change in its mode. The mode of study changed. And then as they got older and they went into school, or, sometimes I even hired a sister to like a childminder sister to come with me to courses. Okay, so sometimes they were like these intensive weekend courses, and the sister would come with me. And because there was like a break room, she would be in the break room with my daughter, and I would, in the breaks, I would breastfeed. Also, I would spend as much time as I could with my daughter in between. But during the actual class times, the sister would look after my daughter right next to me in a room, right? So yeah, it was interesting, like the way I guess I tried to manage things. I didn't do that when they were absolute newborns. This is like when they're a bit older. because I do think that, motherhood requires a lot of focus, and it does deserve our attention, right? Undivided attention. But I didn't see seeking knowledge as something that would have anything but a positive impact on my family and on my children, especially.